This lesson is on percents. So a percent is a ratio comparing a number to 100. So for instance, 20%, what that really means is 20 to 100. All right, which could be simplified to 1/5. But a percent is a ratio comparing a number to 100. So 33% would be 33 over 100. All right, now when we're working with problems with percents, there's two different proportions that we can use to help us. The first proportion is this, is over of equals percent over 100. And you want to use this in problems where you see the words is and of, and I'll show you an example of that. The other proportion we can use is part over whole equals percent over 100. And this is used typically in word problems. So when you have part of a whole, so you're comparing part of something to the whole amount, equals percent over 100, you can use this proportion. And then this is what's called the percent equation. And it says that if you want to find the part, it's equal to the percent divided by 100 multiplied by the whole. And I'll show you how to use that too. So let's look at some examples. So in this first example, you see the words of and is. So that's why this one says use is over of. So we're going to use the proportion is over of equals percent over 100. And the way you use this is you use these words to tell you where to plug the numbers into the proportion. Excuse me. So this says of 56. So the 56 goes in the of spot. This says is 42, so the 42 goes in the is spot. So what that would look like is 56 goes in the of spot, 42 goes in the is spot, and what we're trying to find in this problem is the percent. It says what percent. So the percent is our unknown. And so to solve this, just use the cross products. So 56 times x equals 42 times 100. And that's always true in proportions that the cross products are equal. If you haven't solved proportions before, you might want to go back and watch my video on that. So I'm going to move this up here so we have more room. So 56x equals 400. Divide both sides by 56. And we get, plug it into my calculator, 400 divided by 56. I get a really long decimal. So in that case, you should leave this as an improper fraction and just simplify it. So I can divide these by 2 because they're both even. So that gives me 200 over 28. They're still even. So I know it can be simplified more. These have a common factor of 4. So let's divide them by 4. And that gives me 50 over 7. So I'm going to leave my answer as that. So in algebra, we're okay with improper fractions as answers. So if you get a long decimal that fills up your calculator, just leave it as an improper fraction. All right, so in this one, forgot to change this, part over whole. You see, well, this one has the words is and of, but we're going to use the part over whole on this one. So part over whole equals percent of 100. So it says what percent of 40 is 25? So 25 is part of the whole amount, which is 40. So this is going to be my part, and this is going to be my whole. So plug in 25 for the part, 40 for the whole, and again, we're trying to find the percent. So multiply, so 40 times x equals 25 times 100. Divide both sides by 40. So if we take 2,500 divided by 40, we get 62.5. So this one I'm going to write as a decimal because it's a terminating decimal. So if you get a terminating decimal, write it down. If not, leave it as an improper fraction. So this is a dress shirt normally costs $38.50 and it's on sale for 30% off. What is the sale price of the shirt? So we want to find out what 30% of $38.50. $38.50 is the whole amount, and we want to find out what 30% of that is, which is the part. So this is where we're going to use whole times percent over 100 to find out the part. So I'm going to take the whole amount, which is $38.50, and I'm going to multiply that times the percent divided by 100. So that would be 38.50 times 0.3. 30 divided by 100 is 0.3. So if I take 38.50 times 0.3, I get 11.55. Now, this 11.55, this is what's called the discount. This is how much money you're saving. It's not how much you're going to pay for the shirt. It's not the sale price of the shirt. It's how much you're going to save. So to find the price, write this down. To find the sale price, take the 38.50 minus the discount, the 30% that you don't have to pay. So what we get when we do that is $26.95. That's the sale price of the shirt. So I had to find out what the discount was. So I found out what 30% of 38.50 is by doing 38.50 times the 30% divided by 100. That gave me the discount. And then I subtracted that discount from the original price. All right, so shifting gears here, simple interest. So simple interest is either money, excuse me, money that you pay or money that you earn for lending money. So for instance, if you borrow money from the bank, you have to pay the bank back the money plus interest. So it's a fee that you're paying the bank because they loaned you money. The other flip side of that is if you put money in the bank and leave it there in a savings account, the bank will pay you interest for having your money in the bank. Okay, so interest can go either way. So this is the formula. The I stands for interest. The P stands for what's called principal, and that's the amount that you borrow or the amount that you save. The R is the rate. It's the interest rate. And this is going to be a percent. The rate is a percent. And to use it in this formula, you have to put it in as a decimal. The way that we change a percent into a decimal is by dividing it by 100. And then the time has to be in years. If they were if they were to give you months instead of years as the time, then what you would do is do the number of months divided by 12, and that would equal the number of years. So let's look at an example. So if you invest $50 at a simple interest rate of 3.5% per year for 3 years, what is the interest? So the amount you invest, so that's like putting in your savings account. This is your principal. This is the rate. The rate, and this is the time. And they're wanting us to find the interest. So again, the interest equals the principal times the rate times the time. Now the rate, the R has to be the percent divided by 100. You got to change it into a decimal. So we're going to take 3.5 divided by 100, and that would be 0.035. When you divide by 100, you just need to move the decimal point 2 places to the left. So the decimal was here, I moved it 2 places to the left. Our time is in years, so we're good there. And there's our principal. So now we're just going to plug this in. So the interest equals the principal, which is $50, times the rate written as a decimal, 0.035, times the time, which is 3 years. So we just multiply those three together. 50 times 0.035 times 3, and we get 5.25. And this is money, so interest equals $5.25. So if you put $50 into this account and you left it there for 3 years, they would pay you $5.25 in interest. So at that point, you would have $55.25 in your account. So not a lot of money. In general, if you put your money in the bank, they don't pay you a lot of interest for that. If you borrow money from the bank, they actually charge you quite a bit of interest for that. That's how banks make money. They charge you for borrowing money from them, and they charge you more than what they pay you for keeping your money in the bank. All right, let's see. I think I got one more. No, that was it. All right, so quite a bit covered in there. So if you need to, go back and watch that again. Hopefully that was helpful for you. If so, give it a like and a subscribe. Until next time.